Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode, and today we'll be starting in front of Terraca again. Hi, Dad. So, let's go. Food is here. So the first thing we got is some croissant. Then we've got the same chocolate chip custard pastry thing from yesterday. It's not really custard. I'll just call it pastry. But anyways, my mom is having this. She's having the pizza bread today with two side ups, some coffee, and some salmonina. And then we got my father. He has some sort of egg salad. Is that egg salad? And then here we got croissant with egg and two sunny side ups again, and pizza bread. And he also has tea. So do I. Alright, so we're done with breakfast and now we're waiting outside our hotel. We actually hired a tour guide because we want to take a tour of Catherine the Great's palace today. But it's not here yet, so we're just gonna wait a while. Before we enter though, this is the Lyceum Garden, near of the Lyceum University where Alexander Pushkin graduated from. He was an amazing poet and writer. He helped to, create the Russian language, or at least improve it, because back in the day, 19th century, Ukrainian Belarusian spoke a common language that was understood by three of these countries, Russia, Belarus and Ukraine. But then Pushkin actually created sort of a separate language that's almost totally different from the common language they learned. So all his poems are now read and admired by most people of today. So this is the Catherine Palace. So these palaces are actually used by many Russian tsars over the years, mainly Catherine and the Nicholas's, the dynasty, and it was really widely known. So welcome to the Golden Gate. This is the back entrance of the palace, and you can see most of the palace from this side. So this Golden Gate was the main entrance, and during the 19th century it was open so guests can come in and have parties or just receptions and meetings or congress, I suppose. However, we're gonna have to go back through the other side because this is not the official entrance. The official entrance is through, I guess, the back of the main entrance. So anyways, we need to go there because our ticket has a sort of a timing you need to follow, and if you want to see the palace, we gotta follow that timing. So the first palace was actually that one. It was a very small palace, but during the reign of Elizabeth, they extended out to the sides and built pavilions. To the left you can see the palace pavilion, where it's the palace church. So they go there for service, and after that they go back to the main hall and have parties and ceremonies and meetings, I suppose. And on that side is a second sort of gallery pavilion. It used to be real gold on the front of the building, but they just changed it to have gold leaves because gold is expensive. So we are back out of the front entrance, or just the main entrance. A lot of tour groups are waiting out here for their turn and for their tour guides to grab their tickets. Our tour guide is actually grabbing our tickets, so we're waiting outside here. Here you can see the side galleries and pavilions along with the palace church building, and then if we continue to the right we can see the beautiful main hall of the palace where it all started from. To the side and the opposite of the palace we can see the beautiful garden area, or the field. So here's the entrance. It's about to open up soon for us, so let's go inside. Wow, welcome to the inside of the lobby. So this is the inside. Just take a look around, and I'll see you guys when we get to some of the nice exhibitions parts. made in the Baroque style. Mirrors and gold leaves and beautiful paintings and everywhere. This is also the main throne room, meaning that the throne was here, but now it's just used for ballrooms and receptions, and it's very nice. The ceiling is a canvas that was placed up in the ceiling and fixed there. The middle part is dedicated to Catherine the Great. The side is dedicated to the allegory of war. And this side, it's actually dedicated to the allegory of peace. As you can see, everyone's burning all siege weapons and spears, and they're all just being good, I guess. So welcome to the waiting room. During balls, this is where the guests sit and wait until the ball started. And basically, as you can see, this is where they waited. There were musicians, there were small tables with luncheons where they could have a break and sit. One of the main parts of this room is this porcelain or, tiled furnace. Basically, it was the design was from Poland, from a king who was actually very impressed by them. So he asked the fashion factories to produce them. And then soon after, Elizabeth, the queen, put them in here as a sort of a memory of her father. So that's interesting. A very interesting thing about this room is these two babies, or angel babies. If you look inside, they are golden, but this one in the corner, they're really dark. They left it here as an example of what it looks like when it's not regilded. Regilding means like to put more color into them. Yeah. If you see the side, they actually regilded these ones. They put gold leaves on them. If you look to the left, it's darker because there's no gold on them. So if you look all the way down here, you can see that there are many doors, and each room has its own door. And if they are all open, you can see all the way down. This section was actually made this way so that if you walk down this thing, you can see the sort of a power and wealth of the Russians. It's also all gold. You go room after room after room and admire room after room after room. If you know, Leningrad or the old name of St. Petersburg was under the siege of the Nazis. During this time, the palace was greatly damaged and a lot of things were lost but soon recovered. A lot of things were restored and a lot of things were rebuilt, and now whatever you see now, this is whatever work they have completed so far. So you better appreciate it. So this here is the main stairway of the place. You can actually go up and down through here. This is like sort of the intersection where all rooms meet.
This room was used for private time. So in the center you can see very beautiful chessboard with small figures. It was a present from China to Russia. As well as behind you there is a
So this here is the green plaster room. Just like the pink plaster room, it was named after the color of the plaster on the wall. So it's green. In the middle there you can see a small little piano that survived during the war, which is really cool, because a lot of things here did not survive. So here is the portrait room where there's many different portraits of many different monarchs, including Elizabeth and the Catherines. The next room, the gallery shows off the many famous people that were once here, like Putin and Gorbachev and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Queen Elizabeth II and many others. And that was the last of the restored rooms. Basically, a lot of these rooms have been tried to restore ever since the end of the war, but not be able to. So what you see today is what has been finished right up until now. Not a lot, but they're taking their time because these things must be perfected in order for people to enjoy it, just like how it was last time. So once you're done, you can take a look through the souvenir stores where you can check out souvenirs and like amber stones and just fridge magnets, I suppose. So since we're done with the building, I guess we can leave. No, you're wrong, because there's a huge garden modeled after the gardens of Versailles. Wow, look at this garden. It's so beautiful. Look at the green trees, the green hedges, and everything else alongside, like these nice little rustic fences from I believe before the war.
Which was done for Catherine II and where she spent her free time. So it interconnected with the palace, and it was possible for her to not to go outside, just to go from the palace to this gallery.
So this lake is an artificial lake, and basically in the middle of the lake there's this huge island, and basically there's a musical pavilion and an open stage where people can perform concerts. So there's the palace, and down here is actually the bathhouse. This bathhouse in particular was used by the Romanovs, so they will walk all the way down here and have a dip. There's another identical one that belongs to the servants, so they are allowed to bath down there. It's identical, so it looks the same, don't worry about it. So we are at the back of the palace again, and look at all these people. They're still lining up just to enter the palace, and we are already done. Heck yeah. So we are back at Comfort Hotel, our hotel. That was a very nice and well explained tour by our tour leader. That's pretty cool. Oh, we need to explore some other parts of this beautiful city. For tomorrow will be our day that we'll leave St. Petersburg.